good morning from here in Kampala. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the world. Welcome back to Behold Africa, which is brought to you right here from UTC Media. I am your host, as usual, Jude Klein, and my co host.
Nafsha Brenda, good morning Africa, habari asubuhi for all those who understand it. Bonjour, we are right here in Kampala on the 4th. It's a Thursday right now. Yeah, and it's also very cold actually. It's very cold.
Very cold.
Yeah,
But I don't know why I don't feel the coldness.
Because you're putting on black, obviously, maybe.
But it's short lived.
Okay. So,
Yeah, Brenda, tell me about your morning. What hurdles did you have to go through to get here? Traffic jam anywhere?
no, that was
Weather,
not
the
actually though.
rain?
I didn't have any traffic jam along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't experience any traffic jam. It was smooth for me because I was very early here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was early, and lucky enough, it hasn't been a bad day.
Lucky enough, I also didn't experience any traffic jam because I am still enjoying the free express for now.
Yeah.
But in the nearby future, I am sure I will need to be pulling out some dimes out of my pocket to actually get here on time.
Yeah.
But anyways, we shall cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
For now, I'm still enjoying the short time of getting from Entebbe to here, which is good.
Yeah, which is good, but also you should remind our viewers, please, when you leave home, don't forget your mask. Don't forget to at least sanitize, not like to follow the SOPs and all
Yes.
that. And also, when you're leaving home, for those who keep the religion, you should at least take a short prayer. It keeps your day going.
True.
If you start early morning and you're spiritually filled, it's a good sign of the day.
Yes.
Actually, sometimes if the day goes wrong, somebody will ask you, what did you, what,
Did you pray in the morning when you woke up?
whom did you find actually in the morning? That's what they even ask.
Yeah, there's always that myth. I don't know if many people believe in it, but I have worked with a few individuals, especially your gender. When you leave the house, they go like the first person you meet after you leave the house kind of determines how your day is going to be. So this is in relation to which gender you meet. So most of the time they say if you meet a guy, you're not going to have a very good day.
No, but
When-
sometimes they relate it to a gender, but also the type of person you have met. They
True.
may say the person you have met has.
True. But
They-
I don't
those
I
are
don't I
just
don't
beliefs.
believe I don't believe in all that. I mean, you're the one who makes your day be what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And if you say today is going to be positive,
It's
actually it will.
definitely going to be
No
positive.
matter what
So
comes on, no matter what brings it down.
you wake up with a positive mind, and most definitely your day is going to turn out positive. But if you wake up with a negative mind,
Early morning to bring you all these stories, so you should keep locked in. You share the link, you like on all, follow us on all our social media platforms, and don't forget this show. All this program is always brought by the. What is it brought by?
we are sponsored.
It's brought by the fundamental human rights and protection.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, let's with this. It marks the beginning of the show. But before I continue, I bring you the headlines, and I would start with the headlines of the cabinet. Cabinet approves human organ donation and tissue transplant bill.
mhm.
Ministry of Works and Transport takes of registration licensing for vehicles from URA. Deadly crashes in DRC Bukavu after gunmen launch overnight raid. Death toll climbs to 22 in Nigeria building collapse. Taliban ban Afghans from using foreign currencies. China urges families to stock up essential in case of any emergencies. And when it comes to sports, businessman Umar Mandela has announced his bid to run in the upcoming Sports Club Villa presidential race. Well, we always bring you these headlines when we talk about it, but later on we bring you the newspapers, what is happening in the newspapers. But before we continue, you can always analyze what's happening, and please don't be left out. Be part of the show, send in your comments and tell us what you think about what you're going to discuss. But now, Jude, when we start the show, the beginning of the headline is the cabinet approving the bill
Now, for those
of
of
the
you,
human transport organs.
yes, for those of you who have not been up to speed, let me bring you up to speed. Previously here in Uganda, we didn't have that arrangement. But right now, the government, the parliament has approved that you can sell your organ.
It was just in the rumors at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors were also converging on the like, it will be very much more important if the government approves the transplant of human organs within the country, other than just maybe going abroad and they do it from there. But if they approve it, they can also, our local doctors can do it like here
Locally, yes.
locally, which is now they brought the bill and they brought it on the cabinet. They approved it finally. So for all of you who are there, you can always sell out your kidney, for sell out. We have here.
Well, there is a list of how much these organs go for. I
Yeah.
don't know. Do you have that list?
Yeah, we
here?
have a list. So for those who are willing to sell some of your body parts or your body organs, if you have a liver, you be sure to get 55 million out
I'm
of
sure,
it.
I'm sure all of us have a liver brain.
But those who that those, anyway, for those who have a kidney, I would say, and you're willing to, I'm saying if you have it and you're willing to donate it or to sell it out,
Mhm.
yeah. So it goes for 45 million. For the lungs, it goes for 38 million. For the spinal cord, it goes for 165 million. For the balls, 119 million. But seriously,
Yes, so these prices are really high. So what I say, instead of you incurring these costs to actually get a transplant, to actually acquire an organ to be transferred into you, what I say is keep, like for example, the spinal cord is a whole 165
it's
million.
actually the most
It's
expensive
very
one.
expensive, and for you to get this transplant is going to cost you a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, a lot. So you be safe.
No,
Don't-
but Jude, to also tell our viewers, so the doctors, when they're talking in the previous, because I saw the interview, they were saying we always have death of people, maybe those who pass away in the accidents and all that, and nobody reclaims their body.
Oh yeah, that is very
And they
true.
go with their organs and use, so they
So-
thought they could make use of that.
So even if someone does not reclaim the body, the hospital can ask for the consent of their guardians
Yeah, they
or their relatives on whether they can or cannot use their organs, because the person has passed on
Yeah,
and those organs are just going to go to waste.
yeah.
But of course, this has to be done within a very short period of time before the organs are declared worthless. Like for
Okay.
example, I think the liver is one that takes longest
Yeah,
to
the liver.
become worthless. So that's about, I think, 7 to 12 hours. For the heart, it has to be almost instant.
Almost, yeah, instant.
Yeah.
product.
If they don't put it on ice, then it's going to be useless.
So for those who have been struggling, you have your solution. Don't be worried, you're sorted. And for those who are experiencing financial problems and you feel like you're ready to supply or donate
I
and
always-
make money out of your own body
I
parts.
still say that is not the smartest choice, but
Why not?
but anyways, yeah, people be looking for money in different ways.
Actually, because if you're also donating blood, why not donate the liver if somebody is willing and you have the heart of willing to give out?
Now, fun fact about the liver, it's
'Cause-
the only body organ in our system that actually regenerates
Yeah,
itself.
it regenerates.
So yes, you can give away part of your liver. That one
And the kidney? Remember
agree.
you-
If I was in the position to, probably I would
Mhm.
give away part of my liver to someone who is in need.
And
But
the
for
kidney? The kidney, you
Kidney-
give out one and you remain with one.
well, you don't. There always. I'm not a medical practitioner, but I'm sure there are always other medical aspects that have to be involved and all that. Not all of us. You might have two kidneys, but not both of them are functional.
No, but the thing also to let our viewers know,
Mhm.
if I either put up these prices and however much somebody can go to any extent to get money,
Mhm.
I don't think it will be hard somebody to be willing to give on these body organs.
Most
Because
definitely.
even your family, people whom you are contact with, and they find you match with them, they tend to not to be allowed to give in the
Because they are
organs.
precious organs. They are very, very precious.
Recently,
So-
I had a story of one of the guy who was experiencing a liver problem, and
Mhm.
he finally was solved. He got a transplant and all that, but he said when they told him he needed a transplant, they told him to go and look for a donor.
Mhm.
He went on the streets of Kampala. People were like, "You man, you want us to die just because of you?"
Yeah, well, that is what happens. Not everybody has a giving heart.
Mm.
and not everybody is willing to do good.
Yeah.
Actually, even in our family members, you might find a match with, say, your partner, your daughter, but they will be like, nah, I can't do it. Yeah? My
Anyway, we
organ
leave
is
it
too
up to you,
precious.
but finally the cabinet approves it. Now we go into the Ministry of Works taking up the registration of the vehicles and all that from URA, because we know previously it was the URA handling
Yes,
all this.
handling all registration.
Yeah, you should register your cars and your number plates and all that. But now the Ministry of Works has come on board and taken over this. Though people were saying however much they have taken over it, they should also look at the laws governing it.
Yeah.
Not only registering, but because in most cases the URA was focusing on registering the cars, but not following up on the theft and all that. Somebody can come and register, yet the registering a car that is not theirs.
Yes.
So they say they should also follow that.
Well, I think this is going to be because URA has actually offered a number of their staff members
Yeah.
to the Ministry of Works to assist them in the development of a new digitalized registration system. Because previously, like for example, keeping the logbooks. For those of you who own cars, you know what a logbook is. Now, a logbook is the data that is concerned with your car, the thing that is registered under, the chassis number, the engine, and so on. Those details are recorded in what's called a logbook. Now, these logbooks were manual, just like hard copy. Yeah, you have it in hard copy, and you know how hard copy things are. There could be an accident, a fire outbreak. You lost it, it got torn, someone poured on it water, and all of those, and you could end up losing your logbook. And if you lost your logbook, the hassle of getting another one is actually very tedious. But then, now the Ministry of Works, for them, they are proposing a digital logbook
Yeah.
where you do not need to have a hard paper to show that the details of your car. You just have to go to a website and check what your car details are, and I think that's going to be a very good.
Is
A
it
good
also
addition.
part of the registration that the president talked about, that each and every car should also have a tracking device? Is this
Yes,
also
most
part of
most
it?
definitely, because now you see how we have our national IDs.
Yeah.
Now your car is registered under a TIN number, right? Now on the national ID we have a NIN number.
Yeah.
So both those details are going to be linked, so that we may know who is who and who is owning what and where they are, and all that. And that's going to reduce, I think, on some crime rates and
then
the
we
sort.
just hope so, because as we know in Uganda, that is
Yes, because
enforcing laws. No, like passing the laws is easy, but enforcing them, that is where we get the problem.
but I think this might work out. This might work out.
Everything comes at it might work out, but yes, let us hope it works out.
Because
that-
you know,
and
just
it
like
solves something, at least for those who worry about the theft of their cars and all that.
But it's not this is going to help out in a way, like you have mentioned, theft. Previously, if a car was stolen, it's going to be very, very hard for you to actually trace it, because for starters, there are multiple parties who have owned the car before, and most people in Uganda, when they buy a second-hand car, they don't usually take the liberty
So,
to change its names into theirs.
so should we have the guarantee that if they're registered under the Ministry of Works, there would be also changing in the crime rate and all that?
Most definitely, if it goes digital and it's linked to all of
No,
these
but-
documentations, most definitely, like car theft is going to go down by large
We hope
margin.
so, but Jude, I also remind you that we have seen instances. For example, now when they said registering for IDs, national IDs, that they will find out the crime rate and all that, but still it's ongoing, and you find that even they can't trace the number of people who are registered.
But that's because we have a lot of forgery around here, I would say. You see, just like how when you're registering for your SIM card, right? You need your national ID or a passport. That way, we have the full details of what's going on and who is. But here in Uganda, we have too much trick. We have too many tricks. Someone goes to the Airtel shop or whatnot. We have so many outlets which sell those SIM cards. You reach there and one of the retailers goes like, you can pay 5,000. The SIM card is 2,000, but you can pay 5,000, and I give you an already registered SIM card. So these are the hurdles that we're going through, and I think when they are put aside,
But do you also blame that on the people themselves? I think you should it start from the other side. The weakness is on the other side.
Yeah, well, let's say it's on all of us. It's part of our humanity. It's part of, humans. We are weak. Yeah. So, in all aspects, it's all our responsibility to take these things into our own consideration.
But
And
me, my main aim is that at least if it can reduce on the rates of the cars which are stolen. We are going to also read you early in the next session. We shall read the story of the cars that were recovered.
mhm,
And if it's going to help out in all that, then we are appreciating and we should embrace it. But I would say let us not only pass the laws or take on the laws as the ministry, but ensure that they implement and enforce all this.
yes, but a big mystery like this, most definitely will. Once takes on something, it will definitely
You
come.
have full confidence.
Yeah, I have confidence in my country, in my country at large.
Well, well, we also go into that. We gave you a story yesterday of the 21 stores
Hmm.
of the building that fell
In Nigeria.
in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now they have managed to recover at least 22 people, 22
Sorry,
deaths.
yeah, casualties.
Who have no casualties that they died of.
Yeah.
They managed to recover them, and they say they're still recovering more because this was a huge mist of 21 stores, a building falling.
Yes. Well, yesterday the report from the Nigerian press said they are still trying to recover the people who. The numbers are not known on how many people are trapped under the rubble. But what they're trying to do is pump some water into the rubble and some oxygen for just in case there is anyone who is still down there and would need some water supply and some extra oxygen. And they're doing this. Also, they say they are stopping all machinery, like those are the excavators trying to pull out the rubble. They are stopping all of that so that they can listen to probably cries or voices coming from within the rubble, so that they can be able to help them and rescue them. But yes, this is what's been going on there. It's very heartbreaking. It's very saddening. They are still discovering a lot of bodies, but so far I think 3 people have been rescued alive, and they have been hospitalized, and now they are recuperating. But yes.
Well, going into our neighborhood here, DRC, there was a clash of gunmen who attacked it's called the Bukavu.
Hmm.
The gunmen attacked it, and there were 6 people, 6 attackers. They attacked 2 policemen, and a soldier was killed during the battles, and the local government says so.
Hmm.
Well, this is so saddening that it's strange that all this is happening and within, because you're also aware that what is happening in Ethiopia.
Yes.
It's strange,
Ethiopia, South Sudan, now DRC.
it's strange that all these are happening, even our own Uganda, that
Yeah,
the killings are going
bombings.
on.
Mm.
So we just call on the officials to be very vigilant on all these crime rates because they're high, and if when it comes to crimers, they can go to any extent to achieve their
goals.
their goals. So
That is true.
no, but Jude, I think we should go into the newspapers
Yes,
We should
most
just-
definitely.
because
Some of the news here for me, as usual, I bring to you the news from the Daily Monitor, and some of the news headlines are: Museveni issues new rules on city markets. That is our Nakasero, our Owino, our what's Kalerwe, and
one
and
day
the sort
market,
one day gear.
all the markets. But
So-
I'm happy that he issued that because there have been wrangles within the market leaders.
Mhm.
So if he issued out that, at least it can strengthen and show the streamline on who to follow, what to do, and who is the leader, what are they supposed to do, what not to do, and all that. That's what
Yes.
they needed, I think.
Yes. Here again in the Daily Monitor it says Namuangwe scorecard. They will bring for you what Namuangwe
Nawangwe.
has done in the now for some of you who are wondering who this is the vice chancellor of Makerere University, and before he came into office he proposed a lot of things that were going to be done, and out of 17 of what he proposed, 10 has been fulfilled, which is a very big accomplishment, by the way. So amongst these, there was a five-star hotel under PPP, which has not yet been fulfilled. There is the 3-star hotel at Makerere, which has not yet been filled. modern student hostel at MAC, which has not been fulfilled, apartments at Kololo not yet fulfilled, teaching hospital not yet fulfilled. These are the 5 that have not been fulfilled. And on student affairs, new fees policy, that one has been fulfilled. Protection of the integrity of Makerere academic credentials has been fulfilled. Improving of security, street lighting, all of this has been fulfilled. There is a lot more to go on here, so I advise you to pick a copy of this and you will know the more details. More children resistant to antibiotics. You can read about this. UN donates medical equipment to prisons. Yes, the same story here on Nawangwe, on what he scored and what he has not scored. There's a lot to read here. We also have URA hands over registration of vehicles to Works Ministry. You can read about the details of what we're talking about right here in the Daily Monitor, the news of today. Museveni issues new rules on city markets. You can find out the full details on what these rules say and what they apply on and how they are going to be applied right here in details. Government shifts to contraceptives to curb poverty. Now, yesterday I think we were talking about the issue of family planning, and yeah, the government has has come out and also said something about this, and yeah, you can read about the full details.
It's related. We all know that they say poor people produce more.
Yeah.
So if they introduce the contraceptives to them, at least they could reduce on their expenditures.
That is true. That is true. Government gets modern scanner to secure a legal border post. So this is in a relationship to the COVID-19 testing kits, and yes, they have acquired a new modern scanner to ensure the border at Elegu. Now this is the border. It's between the border of Uganda and Kenya.
Well, I'm holding New Vision. I have New Vision as always, and in New Vision it's saying it has a board. It's saying government sets tough rules for SACCOs. Government sets, and if you go to, and also they're saying, will Vice President defuse Nabanja Onek fraud? Ministry of Works takes over registration of vehicles. Understanding the importance of ARVs. Well, New Vision is still continuing this story. Actually, on the front page, it's portraying the late Philip Eli Lutaya's photo of the untold story, because we all know that he passed away with HIV. Yeah, so that is bringing a story about him. When I continue with New Vision, will Alupo break the silence? Will Alupo break ice over Nabanja Onek public spot? Because we all know what is going on when Onek was blaming Nabanja doing her work, taking over her.
They were set to meet yesterday, so all of these details are in the New Vision, and you can read about what went down and what's going to change.
Well, as they're still on their negotiation with the two, New Vision is saying here, investigate alleged corruption in your office. Nabanja tells IGG, because we all know she said she has come on board to fight every corrupt item on the ministries and all that. And I think this is where the eye on Onek came on and they said like he's taking over the powers in his ministry.
That is
because she doesn't have any borders. If she says you're going overboard, because you're all seeing her when she goes on the terminating contracts of all those who are working on the roads, and if she finds your work is not up to date, just know she will be terminated.
Very. She's very strict on this.
No, she's very strict. For those who are owning circles and who are planning to own circles, they have set rules. Circles get tight regulations.
Brenda, are you in any circle?
Yeah,
so some of you who are wondering what are circles, these are saving schemes where you make some of your savings instead of the bank. You make some, as Brenda said, the Vivina, where you make some savings in here, but they are getting new regulations, and you can read all about that in the New Vision.
7,000 babies with heart defects can't be operated. New Vision has all that. Parliament finally starts considering NSSF. Remember when we
demva kueringa zalwe marataba momberusi tomu atikui mandra ikoseyo nzezu mipe TV ya youth media youth media re ni risulu gala masana fwa eroduko ti medri opoko di yidi sadrie and yo midizo ba kwesi de woro ke youth media re eringa solve in time so youth media re TV bano vele online de sa de yo de amadri anzi PMV koremicha kwedi ne mitale mini TV nemvani yokini ile ma cartoon ne ayam vani mini remote you duersite remote go atat ma duersira kini ile ma cartoon ne so mita jero mina ripeta piruri remedi ni yangon rarko mini duersi cartoon kumva madre nini ramedi si mungwa bedroom e kadi bedroom e bo yo ra kidi sa mini nyendre youth media be
Omwami wa Kabaka yeyaze mu maaso ga Katikkiro ne bamwewuunya. Bukedde nabingi Bobby agenze mulago nga embeera ya Sseggirinya yeeraliikiriza. Because we all know Sseggirinya was arrested but his state is worrying and all that. So abazigu batemye abantu 15 ekirwa. So kati mwena bagala omanya ku ino story mukwate empapula zammwe eza Bukedde olupapula nno lusulu 10 ku street weefunye n'osoma waliwo ne wana akasolya akavudde ku kizimbe kya Equity. Bukedde erina mangi naye wano kikomekereza ekitundu kyaffe. We can buy a copy of this mugende mu ku streets mugule empapula zammwe eza Bukedde New Vision for all those who want to know more and read more about the news. As Behold Africa, we just bring you the updates and all that's happening, the headlines.
Yes.
But as we continue into our next session, we always bring you the weather forecast. We have a beautiful lady, she's called Sandra. She brings you what's happening all over Africa, how to dress up for a specific weather and all that. So let us go to Sandra. Sandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Brenda. It's been a nice session for all those who missed. Madam Brenda, you talked about family planning.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it gives you the chance to space your children.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some of us, like Batuzala Tulivanji, you mean our parents didn't do family planning?
Mwana watu Sandra, your families, in long time ago, our parents didn't know about these family contraceptive ideas and all that. But as the years went by, they've managed to embrace them. They are good because they give you time to space your children. They give you time to plan for your children. Not just giving birth anyhowly and giving birth to children that you cannot take care of. You plan for them. If you know ngenda kuzaala omwana mu mwaka ogujja, manyi ngenda kumuziiva, ngenda kuteekanya Jude. Ogenda mutetenkanyira at least asangewo si kugamba nti omwana agenda kujja togenda okubire gundi ndi mutwale help me on this so kiyamba.
Nze ngamba abaana abangi be bataasa omanyi obazaala ne
No Sandra, abaana abangi tebakuganda kuzaala abaana bo bangi. Contraceptives oba family plan ekuyambako okuspacinga abaana bo nomala butagazaala nomanya nti ngenda zaala omwana naye nga mwetegekedde nti si kugamba nti kabuddemu
nanti abaana abo bozadde ku munkumu gomanyi okulira mu famire nga mwenkanaakana
toza kwakulira anyway Sandra tutwale mu mbeera y'obudde.
Anyway, it has been a nice session. For all those who missed, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, UTC Media everywhere. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like and comment. Weather is the daily condition of a place at a given time. It's 4th of November, Thursday, 2021. And I'm Namirim Sandra to bring you your weather forecast report. Behold Africa, good morning Uganda, good morning Africa. Lelo, ngabulijo, sigena gamba lelo, ngabulijo, tubatusaako ebibuga byammwe ebyenjawulo nga twogera ku budde. Embeera y'obudde etambudde etya, olina kwambala otya, olina gikolera otya, ali egenze dda ku mulimu n'akyali ewaka eyeetegeka ogenda okukola. Nga leero nkuletedde ekibuga kyo ekikulu, the main city, that is Kampala. Newemba njogera nsmilinga, of course it's the main city. Kampala, it's mostly cloudy. Taking you back to yesterday's report, nabagambye bannange musitule ku majaketi, musitule ku masweta, abantu te serious. Nalabye comments zammwe nga muneebaza okubatuusaako embeera y'obudde. And today, currently, it's 18 degrees Celsius. The high will be 25 degrees Celsius. Chances of rain are 20%. Humidity is 93%. Visibility is 9.7 kilometer. Yembela ya lelo, chances of rain at 20%. Imagine chances of rain being at 25%. That means we are expecting some rain. Kayinza okutonya tonya mwao. Ela carry your small sweater, carry your jacket. Jukila in cold weather, remember that to invest in wool, cotton taina chatuyamba, you know, we dressing all going ra cotton, of course empe wegenda kuita mango. Banji mbade temuchimanyi, nayo wachikola ko research, that's it. Chola ba in cold weather, they tell you to invest in wool, like cotton ajakuletele empeo, and don't forget to put on tight things, kubanga bikume bugumu. You can wear 3 layers. No so zako vesti, no zako shirt, then normally it is a sweater. That is so good, but however, don't forget to invest in wool. Abantu abamfine twagala nnyo cotton is very good, but please, for this weather, invest in wool, because chances of rain are 20% in Kampala and 93% to humidity. Not forgetting Wachiso, abakwata oluguudo lwa Hoima Road, nga mwenna muretegekera. Some people are going to Hoima, so nga mugenda kuyita Wachiso, it's mostly cloudy. Chances of rain are 20%, humidity is 93%, and visibility is 8.1 kilometer. And never to carry your sweater, please. Like I said, November buli omu ayagala ensenene. Ensenene tezigwangako mukasana. No. Ensenene zigwa nnyo mu budde bw'enkuba. And that is November. November we expect that. Si kipya tekitwewuunyisa. So never to move with your sweater. However, when I look outside from the window, omusana gufulumye, but it's cold. Omusana gufulumye, but it's still cold. So it's currently 18 degrees Celsius and the high will be 25 degrees Celsius. My people in Wachiso town is very busy. Abantu mukola, taxis zitambula zijjuza yevao, borders are on their work here. But ngatona linya border, please carry your sweater. The sweater you take your bag. Oleme kwejjusa lunaku, oleme kwevuma lunaku. Kubanga banji tuyina endwadde ez'enjawulo. So obutagenda getting affected, please carry your sweater. I won't forget Masaka. Masaka, mulimu ebyalo bingi. Masaka has a lot of towns. Kalisizo, yeah, that's where I know most. Abantu mujja kumbuza lwaki njogerako nnyo, but that's where I know most. Kalisizo and so on. It's cloudy as well. Ate mumanyi Masaka ewasibuka ensenene, of course, chances of rain are 20%. Humidity is 79 and visibility is 16.1 kilometer. Abe Masaka ate kino mukimanyi. I don't need to mention this over and over again. Carry your gumboots ngogenda mu nnimiro, olime fine oveyo, odde ku mirimu gyo with your sweater. A sweater temenya. Never to carry with your sweater. Reminding you never to invest in wool more than cotton. Fine engoye za cotton tuzagala. They are so good, they are so nice. But please invest in wool than in cotton. Ginger, going to Ginger, it's cloudy. Currently it's 20 degrees Celsius and the high will be 26 degrees Celsius. However, in Ginger, chances of rain are 30%. Wow, you're expecting rain, and I'm sure it's drizzling now. Because I called someone and I confirmed it that it's drizzling now. Olugudoro Red Ginger, humidity is at 90% and visibility is 9.7 kilometer. So whoever is in Ginger, ebyalo ebiri Ginger, like netowns ezirinanye, please and please, for information, carry your umbrella. Sagala otuuka ate ogambe bannange it's too cold, I wish I knew, bra and so on. Behold Africa, wetulya kutuusako embeera y'obudde, sagala wejjuse mu ngeri emu oba endala. Kubanga results, fine if their expectations, but I think you're seeing the results. Yesterday I told you to carry your sweaters and automatically trained. So in Ginger, please and please, carry your sweater. I think I should learn that language. Jemukoze said ginger. Lusoga, is it? Yeah, I'll take my time because sometimes you have to communicate in mother language. I won't forget the North, Gulu, Alua. Let me see if I know some. Alua, you greet Mingoni. Yeah, Mingoni Mamuke. Please and please, before you greet your friend, you tell him or her, behold Africa, UTC Media, we bring you the weather forecast report, and according to their report, they said we should carry our sweaters because chances of rain are 20%. Before you greet someone, Mingoni, Mamuke, tell them to carry their sweaters because humidity is 91% and visibility is 81 kilometers. Please and please, people in Gulu, whenever you're following our UTC Media everywhere, it's UTC Media. Please and please tell a friend to carry the sweater because chances of rain are 20%. I'll go to our west of Mbarara, Fort Potro. People in Fort Potro, how do you greet? Mwalaire Mutta. I don't want to interrupt your language, but that's the little research I got. Before you greet your friend Olairota, tell him or her to carry her sweater because it's 20% still. Until mwezi gwensenene, you know, grasshoppers are everywhere. So that side, before you greet your friend, omugamba himbe sweater yae, awokuba nkwenda abele mu conditionally fine. You know, I'm trying to communicate in our mother language. In that tewejusa, like I didn't understood she used English, I didn't understood she used like Luganda, no. That's why I'm trying to cop up Mbatu Sekembela Yogude. Chances of rain are 20% and humidity is 95%. Visibility is 8.1 kilometers. Please and please, before you go, there are a lot of factories there. While your factory Amajan, even though you're going in the factory, please carry your sweater or like to be on the safe side because you can't work when it's too cold. You know, so tell a friend omugambe ahimbe sweater yae agenda ature nayo. That means he or she goes with it at work. Yeah, ahimbe sweater yae ature nayo abokuba climate may change, weather may change. I was trying to communicate in your language, I'm sorry. I will remind you still, Behold Africa doesn't only stop in Uganda. We go outside cities around Africa. And for that plan, like yesterday I told you, I talked about our city, Manchester. And today still I'll bring you Manchester. So I'll go to Manchester. This is the results in their city. Partly cloudy and it's currently 4 degrees Celsius and the high will be 8 degrees Celsius. Simanya in Manchester wali enseneni because it's mostly clear. I think the 10 degrees Celsius and humidity will be 84%. Visibility is 16.1 kilometers. I think in Manchester you can dress up lightly, some light clothes in Manchester and wear light colored clothes. Light colored clothes kuyamba outer attracting a sunshine because you know black like attracting your sunshine umsana neguko chanyate. So when they say light colored clothing, that is so good. Ovelo funayo ngoyezo like is there any other color? But please never not to put on black. I don't advise you to put on black in hot weather because black reflects sunshine. Everyone knows that. So I never to put on your light dish jean, real to dress, wear leather sandals. Yeah, or feeling it. You know when it's cold, you need when it's hot, sorry, you need something light. So what I got yambale stocks, you yambale clothes, you know. Yeah, yesterday I told you mwambale clothes, mwambale stockings, but here chances of rain are 10% and it's mostly clear, so you don't need that. I'll go to Palace. It's 40% and humidity is 93%. Currently it's 6 degrees and the high will be 11 degrees. I don't know if these people tebafuna msendene musuwalingi, sorry, because it's mostly cloudy and visibility is 12.9 kilometers. I won't forget London. London. When you're young, they ask you where do you want to go. If not outside Uganda, of course you'll say London. So I took advantage of looking for its weather. It's 8 degrees and the high will be 10 degrees. Chances of rain are 10%. Humidity is 81. I don't know if you people Timwagala and Senene. However, you have people in London and they communicate bambi musibire yensenene musituletere bichi musteke kunyonyi zijja kutuuka. So you people, indeed, you're missing a lot, because even when we go to New York, it's mostly clear and chances of rain at 0%. Please, people in New York, wear your leather sandals. You don't need to put on closed shoes. Sagala tezituyane. Remember, weyambala engatezili closed ngato msana munji. Otuyana. It's a lot. Please, if you're going somewhere, you can do your simple leather sandals. It's okay. Humidity is 55% and visibility is 16.1 kilometer. I'll go back to our main city, Kampala, which I started with. According to our research report, and it's people are using borders now, and there's a lot of congestion here in Lubaga Road. I've just seen it. Kubanga bantu mukozeseza nnyo border, but please whenever you border and send you because report gender everyone is on ayambadde sweater oba si kyakajambadde. I'm sure this to them and bag oba wona wagitadde ku kibegabega cause pali agundi stule sweater ye ogimutwalire omugambe mumanyi ku UTC Media Behold Africa mu weather forecast report bagambye enkuba eyinza okugwa because I said like that yesterday obvious enkuba netonya. So according to our expectation, please, you can carry a sweater for a friend. Thank you. I've been Namirim Sandra on Behold Africa. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, Africa. Let's go back to our main studio.
Thank you, Sandra. As I promised you, she always has the latest weather forecast and all what's happening. And she even tells you what to dress. Sandra mpuido yegera kumserere yagala ensenene
nnyo
so kasubira nange okundeterayo ku nsenene
waliwo yagambye November babes tembawasa babukabuka ng'ensenene
naye toza tekijja bayisa obi Sandra, I'm going to baviewers bange bano abaffe baneeno tulina betubeereetera mu kano akanyumiro which is called the trending stories. Do you have any trending story?
A trending story. UTC Media. Banana trending.
UTC Media. All those who are not on UTC Media, who have not subscribed, you are missing a lot. Please share the link and also follow on all our social media platforms. Here at UTC Media, we bring you all the latest updates all over. We are not limited, as you have seen. She's Sandra. She brings you everything in the weather forecast. She sorts you out. Also, as we sort you out in the trending stories, the news all over on the African continent and in the world. So let me go into the trending stories. And in our trending story, we have the trending story about our musician here, who is known as Bebe Cool, the Gargamel person, and he's the founder of Gargamel. Well, on one of the TV interview he was interviewed yesterday, he mentioned and said, he talked about the musician Diamond Platnumz, and we all know Diamond Platnumz. And Diamond Platnumz, he says Bebe Cool has his house is better than the one of Diamond. And a lot of people have come on board, and a lot of critics have said, how could he dish him like that? How could he dish him like that? But to let you know, Jude, I'm also going to involve you in this. To let you know, he didn't only say that his house is better than the one of Diamond Platnumz. He said Diamond Platnumz, he buys viewers on all the social media platforms so that they feel that he's the trending star, yet he's not. Do you have anything to say?
No, I don't know, because this is a rumor.
Yeah.
This is just a rumor, and not sure if it's 100% true. I do not know how much water it holds.
Which rumor?
The one of Diamond Platnumz buying viewers. Now, for a fact,
it came out from the musician, the opponent, Bebe Cool.
Yeah, well, you see, in every just like here at Toots, we have our competitors.
Yeah.
and they would want to say ill about us. Not saying it's true, not saying it's false, but until it is proven that someone is actually doing something, I do not. Personally, I have no opinion
No,
about
but it
that.
came from the host itself. Because we all know that
Here-
Ekul
here
has
is-
stayed in the music industry for a long time.
Mhm.
He's aged 44 years, and the openly, the one he's talking about, the Diamond Platinum is 32, and I think he's the youngest in the.
But it could be,
in the
it could
industry.
be that it is his blood and sweat that he has put into the work that he has done.
So you
and
don't
he has
rely
like-
on the claim.
They all know what I need concrete proof that okay, this person is actually buying viewers. I want you to send me records like okay, this viewer came out and said I was bought to actually just do this and that. So I don't know. Rumors are just rumors, and until it is proven, for me I be like no.
You don't
Because
believe it.
I don't believe because for a fact
But it may be a rumor, yet it's true.
it could be a rumor. which
Always
is true.
rumors come from a point of reality. Maybe.
Most definitely, because okay, in the social media world, we all do things that kind of have to get us on the top of what we are doing, right? So it
So you want
applies
to get on top of at the expense of the other sweat.
because of course by you working like that, you're also sweating.
Well,
Because you're investing
We leave
money.
it up to him, the one who said it, and I believe he's an old person.
Yes.
He can't. I don't think he's still into those kiddish games of maybe, because we all know long ago they used to create battles or beefs between them and Bobby Wine and all the Chameleon just because they want to remain on top.
Yeah.
But he said it and it came from his own, and it's running by the people commenting over it, and he says
Yes.
actually say his house is the house of Diamond.
Yeah, let me read you just the headline of what was said. In quotes, Bobby Cool said, "My house is better than Diamond Platinum's small house."
What is
Now,
small in Uganda? Car. We just had to put car.
Katini,
The car house.
the car house. Mbu. His Diamond Platinum's car house is too small to be
But
compared
you know what
to.
that means? Somebody saying your car house.
I'm sure it's not a car house.
Because you have all seen the pics of the luxury the guy is living in and
Yes,
all that.
yes.
I wouldn't call that the car house, but if somebody comes out and says they have the car house, then they have something bigger and better.
Most definitely, but that's because for him he was comparing his 3 mansions
Yeah.
to one that is known to the public right now of Diamond Platinums, and he was like, don't compare my luxurious houses to Diamond Platinum's car house.
Car house.
So yeah, I emphasize on the car because it really hurts when someone says
Well, I believe also he will come on board and give us a statement on this, because I remember when Diamond was put into the list of the richest celebrities and all that, and he said, how was it Forbes? I think Forbes, when he was put into the newspapers, and he said, how could you put me in those kiddish competition? I'm far better than that. I'm more richer than where you compared me on.
Yeah.
So I think he will come up and respond on this. But we shall go into another trending story that is happening here in Uganda. The scenario, we are all amazed by the clip of 2 young, they were actually young, they're not that old.
Very.
They're having sex, they're having sex alone
I mean, in the middle of the road, I mean, it's some rain.
on the on the road.
So here
On
is
the
the
road.
thing. Here is
No,
the
but Jude, they said it was raining, so I believe the effects of rain.
But okay, then
but they can't.
if it's raining, find shelter. But in the middle of the road, so
No, but if finding shelter, you may be caught off guard and your catch is missing. Who cares?
no. I don't
they
believe.
say sometimes people, when they reach that extent, they lose sense.
Well, I don't know about losing sense, but if it's raining and you want to get busy, find shelter. But these 2 were on a public road. Actually, in the video and the pictures that are surfaced, they even having they were having this intercourse on a bike besides the bike. So I'm sure he picked up the girl on the bike, and when they were riding back home. But anyways, we all have our fantasies. We all have our fetishes. We sit there and be like, I want to do this in the rain. I want to do this in the middle of the road.
Studied the East this, and it was surprising but not so shocking, because Ugandans can do anything. the craziest things you can think of. But this, now they are known as, but yes, today police arrested them, but really they arrested them.
Okay, yeah.
Because you can't do that and you keep running.
Yeah, because that is public indecency.
I
That is public indecency. And in the court of law, in very many countries, you will be definitely arrested.
Well,
So-
the people, they arrested them, and the lady was known as Hashimana Pascaria, which she's age 29,
Wow.
but she's old enough.
Yeah, but still, old enough doesn't mean you go onto the public road and you shame
And the
yourself.
gentleman is known as Mukamlenzi.
Mm,
That's her name.
that's a name. but still, I don't condemn the act,
Yeah.
but I condemn the conditions of the act. Yeah.
Well, if for those who are watching the screen, I believe they've thought the pics of how it happened, and those are they are not clearly identified because
Well, here is the thing: you do not want to go. You don't want your face plastered all over social media.
no. But if you imagine if you manage to go on the streets,
Mhm.
you know this is a public street, not a private, not a road within your or a corridor in your house where you can maybe lock your house and you do whatever you want to do. You went on the streets and you did what you did. That is already public.
It's called Team No Stress.
Tim?
But on that same subject, not necessarily the same subject, but here is a scenario: you get off work, you're very much stressed, and you feel like, man, I just want to fall on the bed and sleep or something like that. But for our border men here, there was a clip. There is a clip that is trending all over Twitter, Facebook, or most social media platforms of a border guy who was really bringing it down. Yeah.
Is it really a border? It's like a bicycle rider.
No. This is a border guy. I think after some tiresome day, he decided, you know what? Let me dance. You know, to some beats right
Oh,
here
that, yeah.
because I have I have earned my money. Let me not get stressed about what's going on. But yes, we are going to bring for you this clip of me. I'm calling it Team No Stress, where you have earned your money, you have made your little fortune for the day, and you feel like, okay, let me first put away some of the work and try to exercise some bit.
Yeah.
For some of us who dance, dancing is one of the stress relievers. For me personally, I play sports. If I need to relieve some stress, I just go play some sports, and that way I'm not stressed anymore. But for those of you out there who dance, people have the different ways of relieving stress. I don't know, Brenda, how do you relieve your stress? When you're stressed, what do you eat? There are people out there who eat. When they're stressed, they eat a lot. But yeah, as I said, there are different ways of relieving stress. But for this,
By the music releases stress.
yes, definitely, music relieves stress. But here is the clip of the border guy dancing in the middle of the street for after a long day's work. Please enjoy. Still in the world, that was the short clip of the border guy dancing. I'm sure some of you who enjoy dancing know this is one of the things you do out of the blue. You just be like, oh, there's a jam playing in my
At
head.
least
And
everybody should have that stress reliever.
yeah, all of us, I'm sure all
Everybody.
of us have a mechanism that helps us to cope with stress.
Not all of us. There are those who are strict with their work. There, work, business work. But the always emphasize to at least have the stress relievers and all that.
Yeah, well, here is the thing. Even if you're a workaholic, for these are people who focus too much on their work. At one point, you still have that lock and key in your head that, oh, I need to take a break. Now, what do you do after when you're in that break? What do you do when you're stressed? that's my main point. I want you to tell me what you do to relieve yourself of stress. For me, as I've told you, I play sports. Brenda, I don't know, she sings. I'm sure she sings. And others out there might be dancers. You dance, and some of you swim, and all that. But anyways, that's one way that we all cope up with our stress.
Well, viewers, we continue with this session. It's known as Behold Africa, and this session is known as the Trending Stories. And the show is always brought by the Fundamental Human Rights and Protection, who say your rights are very important and crucial, and they're there for you to help you on that. Well, to continue more in the Trending Stories is where Uganda has managed to recover to having the stolen cars. But what is interesting about this story, they managed to recover 28 cars or vehicles that were stolen from Britain, and they recovered them and they returned them to the owners. Well, this is interesting because when you look into the cars that were stolen from the other side, they are huge cars. We have the Range Rover, we have the Discovery, we have the Toyota Hilux, which these are a lot, and they're very expensive.
Yes, they are very, very expensive. So these cars were looted from the UK,
Britain,
from Britain, and they were looted, they hauled into Uganda. Now, there are about 28 of them that were actually recovered right here by some officials, and they are trying to establish a way of getting them back to their rightful owners. But this is a very large number of very, very expensive cars. Now, for some of you who know about cars, who have some knowledge about 100 million Ugandan shillings, cars like the Discoveries. So these are both Land Rovers. There's the Land Rover Range Rover, and then there is the Land Rover Discovery. This is an SUV that is also very, very expensive. I think it's about the cheapest doesn't go below 30, 50 M. But the total of the Range Rovers that were found was at about 500 million Ugandan shillings, and the total for the Toyota Hiluxes and Discoveries was between 200 and 350 million Ugandan shillings, which is a lot of money.
Well, we appreciate they did this effort, because when you look at the mission, they see this is a unique one that has not been there. Recovering this, it was a success, I would say, and the people who are the owners of the vehicles, they appreciated, by the way.
Yes, most definitely.
They appreciated, though they're still parked at the Interpol, and the police is still also investigating, and they call those who claim they own the cars and all that, they should go and report to the authorities. But still, when they manage to talk to the car bond people who own the bond, when you talk to them, when you read their story, they say it's not a new incident that this has been happening, because when you look at it, always government, it's good they have managed to shift the registration to the Ministry of Works. Before it was the Uganda Revenue Authority that was in charge of the registration of the cars. But they also said the same thing like they said earlier. They said they focus more on the registration, but they don't follow up on these people who just register cars and the car theft and all that, which is very critical in these incidents.
That is true.
It's very critical. So they say there are a lot of this. There are a lot of these people who are into the colleague or in the gang that steals cars. So it's not a new incident. It's not a new incident. It's just like a syndicate. It's like a car syndicate. They're there to steal cars, and they will just, you'll be there, you order a car not knowing it's a stolen car and all that, you just purchase it. So they call upon every big critic to that, unless you have proof.
I think it's the same thing. Of course, now this one I'm going to scale it down to the phone theft, especially here in Kampala, where you buy a phone and you just it's cheap and you're like, oh, it's a good deal, and you take it. Most of these phones are stolen, and lucky enough, nowadays we can actually track them down. It's very good news. There are apps out there, there are softwares out there that can help you track your phone.
But don't forget, tracking down also is an expense, and not everybody manages to insert in money too, because sometimes people buy the phones and it's a one-time purchase. You save a lot for it, because especially the smartphones, people save a lot for and they take longer. There are those who take longer to purchase them. They save maybe the 50 or the 10 like that. By the time they purchase their smartphone gadget and you come and you steal it, trust me, getting the money also to track them down, it will also be hard.
But still, I'm just making a comparison between the phones and the cars. I mean, if you buy something very luxurious, you have to actually put in some effort to keep it. So
Just they should also be critical where they get the where they purchase. You
yeah,
should
where
know
you
the
purchase
source
the
or the
items
or
from.
yeah, you should know your seller at least. You know the source. If it's maybe Techno, you have gone to the real techno shop or whatever it may be. Just so you buy from the right dealer and all that. So for all those who love movies, we are going into the world of movies. Jude, you have a story about the new movie, which is
Yes. Here on Youth Media, we bring for you trending stories all over the world. And today we have an exciting movie. And then after that, we have another exciting section for the business guys out there, my business people. I know you'll be looking forward to this section. But before we dive into the world of business, let's dive into the world of entertainment. I have a short trailer. I have a short trailer for you. The name of the movie is. Brenda, do you remember the name of the movie? I don't know. I
it's
haven't.
called The Harder They Fall.
Now, The Harder They Fall is a movie that was written and produced. The facts are still not very clear to me, but I think it was written by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a trailer. It's mostly African American based,
Yeah, you saw it and it was
and this
interesting. by
this
the way.
is Behold Africa, which is African based. So it's I feel like it's a story that talks
Yeah, the
to
story
my
is
soul.
interesting where one follows up on the people who hurt them and they had to go and shoot them.
Exactly.
When they knew they were out of prison, they followed them up and they shot.
But here is the trailer of The Harder They Fall.
That clip, I think you have seen the trailer. You shouldn't miss because we always bring you the latest trailing movies. We don't limit ourselves on only the world of politics and all what is happening, but we also tell you what can release your stress and your hobbies. Or if it's a movie, we bring it up to you. If it's a trending story, maybe about a musician, we bring it up to you. But now, after this session, I think you have enjoyed that. I would like to ask you, we are going to the Forex exchange, but we have a lady, she's called Miriam. She brings you this session. Miriam, I want to ask you, are you love of movies?
Of course, why not? I love movies so
So how do you
much.
see The Harder They Fall?
I think I might not supposed to miss it.
You shouldn't miss it because
yeah.
it has the black African blood and
Yeah, for sure.
so I'm interested anyway. You take us into the business world. I'm interested to know how the market is running, especially what to buy. Yesterday you gave us the rates of how to purchase our tomatoes and all that. It's good that the prices are dropping. Hope they continue. So what's happening that side?
As usual, I'm Miss Namariam to give you the forex exchange rates or to bring for you the world of business. And for today, ngabuli jo dollar echali wansi nnyo and later just pray hard nti mukama atuyambe dollar eddemu erinyeko waggulu mukwano. Please, you need to tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment, like and share. As usual, when Bantu say just for only business and only to give you the updates about the forex exchange rates. Only the forex exchange rates, and only for those who know how to count money, who know how to hustle, and who know how to make money. So, and for today, I'm gonna be start with the US dollars as usual. I go to the British pounds like that. So right now, currently, the US dollars, it is at 3,559 Ugandan shillings. And when you go for them to sell or for you to go and buy, it is at 3,667. Especially, tubadenga tulaba inti dollar ebela on 3,600. Now right now, well, I get 3,500. I think the whole of this week, a look ways of 3,500, 3,400. But mkama atuyamba, sometimes yongera kukatini, na okusinzira nga twagimanyira inabera ku 3,700. Ekitale nnyo ebera ku 3,600. But per now, tetumanyi bichoka. It is on 3,500. but inshallah mukama jatuyamba biyitemu. Bamukuba kyeyo mwenna gye muli mulina okimanya nti bwe mukomyewo mu Uganda it is on 3,559 Ugandan shillings. Nammwe abasuubuzi abakwata dola oba munaalindamu kye simanyi bamugenda kwa muwagira gavumenti it is on 3,559 Ugandan shillings. Otugenda kumwe abagenda obbanga mugigula it is on 3,667 Ugandan shillings. Otugenda ku British pounds oba pounds abasinga amanyiga pounds but they're called British pounds eli ku 18 or 4,844 Ugandan shillings. When wekijja kubeera nga mmwe mugigula oba nga bo bagibatunza egenda beerako 5,075 Ugandan shillings. Kati wanomba njagala obbagamba abaana abato oba abantu bonna abadde bakatandika okukwata ssente tubadde tumanyi nti dola ezitumanyi osinga dola yesente ekyasinze okuzitowa naye fe otudde mulina okimanya nti British pounds yesente ekyasinze ennyo okuzitowa okusinga dola kubanga wongamba nti dola emu eri ku 3.5 ate ku British pounds ng'eri ku 14 kitegeeza nti British pounds ezitowa nnyo pounds ezitowa nnyo okusinga dola and for today mwenna abaddeyo nga mwerimba nti dola yekyasinzeeyo okuzitowa mukwano munatusonyiwa tekizuusize wabula kibaddewo nga pound ezitowa nnyo okusinga dola lwakuba nti ffe tusinga mmanya dola nti yezitowa okusinga pound. Wengenda ku euro eri ku 4,110 or 4,116 Ugandan shillings. And when you go for them to sell or for you to go and buy, it is on 4,296 Ugandan shillings. Wetukomawo mu Africa kwegamba zezensi esatu ezikyasinze obeera like since tukyasinze okukozesa oba sente zaabwe zikyasinze obeera nga nnene. Yeah, but ngenda beera mbakomyawo eno Uganda eno mu Africa on Kenyan shillings. Wengenda ku Kenyan shillings on 31.89 Ugandan shillings. Wekijja nti oba ffe tugigula oba bali bagitutunza it is on 34.15 Ugandan shillings. Sente ntono nnyo naye zisingako era. Tugenda ku South African reals eri on 230.50 Ugandan shillings. Wekituuka ku mmwe nti mugenda ba mugigula oba ffe nga kale kumwe nga mugenda ba mugigula oba ffe nga tugibatunza ebeera on 266.34 Ugandan shillings. Wetubeera tugenda ogibaweera mukwano yenna tulaba. Wetugendako ku Chinese yuan oba mu abasuubuzi ba China abasubula tiles abasubula plastics abasubula clothes from China. Right now China eri on 554.94 Ugandan shillings. Wekijja ku ffe gibatunza oba kumugigula eri ku 701.98 Ugandan shillings. And when we go to Spanish or Spain kumwasuubuza abasuubula Spain and China I think ndikwogera ku mmwe bakyasinze abasuubuze nnyo tekyasinze okusuubula abantu abasinga eri on 2,475 Ugandan shillings. 2,475 Ugandan shillings. Wekijja nti ku mmwe mmwe abagigula nga ffe tugibatunza eri on 2,585 Ugandan shillings. Era bagambako ne ssente endala ezitaddeko ku boodi yaffe ku screen yaffe. Wetugendako ku Dubai abantu abasuubula Dubai oba giyite Emirates oba giyite UAE abasuubula Dubai Abu Dhabi mwenna kubanga dola weba eri wansi kitegeeza ne ssente endala zigenda beera ku bbeeyi emu. As usual etera beera ku dirham emu etera beera ku 10,000 but panao egenda beera panao siga nti egenda beera but because of the dollar dirham emu eri on 850 Ugandan shillings. Wekituuka ku mmwe nti mugigula oba ffe tugibatunza eri on 1,000 Ugandan shillings. Wetugendako kuba ku neighbor wa UAE oba Emirates tugendagendako Saudi batulaga nti bulijjo real emu Saudian real ebeera on 1,000 but for now because of that Saudi real eri ku 850 Ugandan shillings. Wekijja ku ffe gibatunza oba ku mmogigula egenda beera ku 1,000 oyo tekyuka yo bbeeyi yayo. Wetugendako ku neighbor ya Saudi oba neighbor ya Emirates nga tugendako mu Oman I think yensi emu ekyasinza obeera nga currency zaabwe ziri waggulu nnyo okusinga nga bwe tulowooza. Twali tumanyi nti pounds ne dollars ezikyasinza obeera ne sente nyingi. Naye wekugamba nti riyal emu ya Oman erimu 1,000 ng'ate dolla emu erimu 35,000. Kitegeeza nti I think mu nsi yonna Riyal Oman yensi ekyasinza obeera ne gundi ennene ne currency ennene kuba riyal emu erimu nusu 1,000 bwekiba nga kya bulijjo. But because of the dollar riyal emu bweti eri ku 8,500 oba 8,500 Ugandan shillings. Wetugenda ku bukufu gyebatunza oba ku bojjigula eri ku 1,000. Kakati Oman eri ku 1,000. Nawe jjukira nti Oman tulina currency bbiri. Balina currency bbiri. Balina baisas ne riyals. But you combine baisas like they have only 100 baisas. So when you combine 100 baisas and you get 10,000 baisas, that is what they call 1 riyal. Nti gundi eri emu kiriwo kiti balina currency fe Uganda tulina shillings zokka oba ezo zonna tutera beera na shilling na like one currency. But when it comes to Oman ensi ekyasinza obeera ne currency ennene oba gundi ennene wadde fe tumanyi nga dollar ekyasinze but Oman ye gundi ekyasinze oba Oman riyals. Manya tulina Oman riyals ne Saudi riyals zaawukana. Saudi riyal ya Saudi, Oman riyal ya Oman. But Oman baina baisas ne riyal. Riyal ezitoosinga baisa. Batandikira ku baisa 10 tebalina ndala nti oba 10 oba 50 oba 1 oba what. But 100 baisa wajja Uganda 100 baisa lubeera 10. So when you combine 1,000 it's 10,000 and that is 1 riyal. When you combine 100 you get 1 riyal. And for today that's all I have for you. But please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to click on that button after subscribing. Let me take you back to Jude and Brenda in the main studio, and they'll be giving you the updates for today. Ciao.
Well, thank you, Mariam, for those updates. We appreciate that you always bring our viewers what is happening in the world of the market. Well, so Mary wala mpeleza on message and asked ate abamafaranga bonga tubafaako
abamafaranga nga mbogerako nnyo. Actually amafaranga right now sijogerako nnyo lwansonga batera, but for now amafaranga 1 mafaranga oba 1 Rwandan francs right now etulaga nti eri on 5.98 Ugandan shillings.
Ndoza bakuzeemu oyo yampeereza message bakuzeemu ndoza amafaranga gagenda kwezo sente agaranda. Well, Miriam eno session badde tugenda mu session gye bayita the world stories that are trending. Oyina mukwano gwo olina gweyagala okutumira omuyita alabisheena oba
gwenjagala otumira Njagala tumira only one lady. My role, I think she's my role model when I go into marriage, and that is called Barbara Simwe. Yeah, I love her. Yeah. I wish her safe delivery. Agenda kuzala inshallah mashallah agenda zala baby girl alhamdulillah mukama muyamba very bulungi kutumiddeko.
Well, we also wish you a safe delivery to the friend of Miriam here at Youth Media, Behold Africa, and please keep locked in. We always send you the greetings. Don't forget. Well, to continue into the world trending stories, all the stories that are happening all over the world, we have the train that was put on lace in Chile. Well, the story says here a freight train derailed in southern Chile on Monday, and some of the derailed wagons were set on the fire following the following day. Police and fire extinguishers fenced off the area in the Temuco to extinguish the fires and start an investigation. Well, Jude, when you look, we're going to play a clip of what happened, of how the train was badly demolished down. The parts are just squatted all over. It looks so awkward and looks so... it's so saddening that you'd also want to be curious how many people died during that session, Jude.
Yeah. Well, Brenda mentioned about derailing. Now, some of you out there might not know some of the terms. But for those of us who know, trains move on, cars move on roads. Of course, planes move in the air.
In the air.
Boats and ships move on water. Now trains move on rails. Now that's the road. I'm just saying road because that's the easiest way of comparing.
In the
The
layman's
road, in
language.
the layman's language, the road of a train is called a rail line. Now, this train was derailed. That means put off its road. And for us here, no, in layman's language, if a car goes off the road, it means it's an accident.
It
Or-
goes out straight, can hit
it
anywhere, it
strays-
can go in the bush, wherever it
Exactly. Now, when a train is derailed, it means it has gone off its railway. That is the road that it uses to move. And yes, this train was derailed, and the containers were put ablaze.
Yeah, they were put ablaze, but it's so. When you look at it, you wonder what was the cause. Good enough, the police have come and they say they're still doing
They're still investigating,
because
yes.
this looks so overdone. But as you always have been also saying that some of these are just accidents that can happen anytime, even when you least expect them. It's good that the police are going to investigate so that it doesn't continue. But you worry about the costs that are on the train.
Yes.
Those
But
are losses.
Some of the reports that are still coming in because the investigation is still underway. Some of the reports that Voice of America VOA News is bringing out say no one was injured, which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
No one was injured in this incident, according to the local police chief. It is believed the incident was an act of protest by local radical groups opposed to military presence in the region. They also continue by saying the area has been under a state of emergency since mid-October following clashes between indigenous groups and security forces. Now, indigenous groups are the people who live within that area. Yeah, for some of you who might be wondering, okay, what are they talking about by indigenous groups? Those are the residents of that area who have not moved from that area from their day of birth until their current age. And yes, it is suspected that the train was derailed by this indigenous group of people and thereafter set ablaze. But the good news is nobody has died or injured.
That is at least
Yeah, that is at least reassuring.
it's an assurance.
Yeah,
that
it's
something-
reassuring,
it's
but
because we have all been. I would say that we have started the week of only hearing death and death and,
and
death
fires and
fires.
bombings,
So if nobody lost their life in that, we appreciate
it's a
that.
+1.
Though property is still involved, but as long as you have life, you can always purchase the property.
Yes,
of
most
that property.
definitely. But right now we are going to we're going to play for you the video
Yeah.
of what was happening on the train. And yeah, let's go into the video before we can proceed.
You have seen the video, that is how it happened, and that is what is happening there. Or we just brought you the clip of how the situation was when the train was drilled. But we can always continue to another story, which we all know the war that is happening in Ethiopia. But UN has come up and marked it as the extremely brutal war that is happening on all sides, because it's also noted and they spotted out areas where, because we all know war comes with all the negative impact, especially on women.
True.
So there are incidences where there rapes are happening, a lot of lives are also passing on, but their emphasis was on the rape that is happening on women, which is so saddening.
Very, very sad.
It's very saddening.
And brutal at the same time.
It's extremely brutal. They termed it extremely brutal. But also, as when you see the pictures or the clips that are coming that side, it gives you a clear picture on what is happening, all the situation there. Because as the war began, it's still continuing. I don't see any fire ceasing at all. Because earlier we gave you a story where they said no, it was out of the hand of the officials or the police, and they said if people also could go on the streets, get the firearms, and also get involved into the war, which is say that is not right, because these are people who have their different ambitions. They can use the firearms for their own point of interest instead of maybe point of justice and all that to calm the fire and all the peace. But
yes, yesterday once again this cry for citizens picking up the firearms actually arose again. In a report from the Ethiopian press, they said any citizen who owns a firearm should get ready, because the rebels are trying to take over Addis Ababa. Now, the war started from, for those of us who are still not up to speed, the war started from Tigray, and now it's advancing to the capital, which is Addis Ababa. Now, if Addis Ababa is taken over, it means the country has fallen.
That is the capital city. Actually, the rumors were that they are taking it out, but the government said no, that those are just rumors. They have not taken it out. But it's getting more and more complicated, more brutal and more worse than even we expected it to get. When you look at the USA managed to, they told their people, because we all know USA comes out board to bring down their people in case of the war zone. They retrieve their own people. Yeah, their own citizens. So USA is planning to retrieve all their natives from the area.
Yes, because especially those living in Addis Ababa, because the area that has not yet been affected, but it's suspect that in the nearby weeks, in the nearby days, in the nearby months,
I even from what I see, I don't think it's even going to take weeks, Jude, because it's moving on a high speed. Every day we wake up to something new that is even worse. So we believe anything can be expected here.
Yes, but in relation to this very story, let me take you all the way to Afghanistan. We remember, I think it was the beginning of this year, where the Taliban took over control of Afghanistan from the government, and just like any other countries out there, of course, even Afghanistan was affected by COVID, just like here in Uganda we were affected by COVID, and most of our students have not yet reported back to school. But in Afghanistan, they were making arrangements of taking students back to school, but their priority, for us, our priority here is the university students going back, but for them, the Taliban government, I don't know if I should call it a government, but
from
anyways,
what I see, it's tending to become now, because they have nothing to do, it's tending to be now a normal or comfortable, since they are not doing a lot of impact. If they're not maybe endangering the public and all that, like how we see in the Ethiopia, like timing it like a war zone, it seems so a little bit calm, though, because they believe they are the winners. They took over I would say they're the government, but still, however much they turn themselves as a government, because we all know 20 years back they managed to also be in power. And what happened? There were a lot of negative impacts on this, especially on the girl child education. So we imagine that what is running into a board now, what is the fate of the girl child or the women's education in Afghanistan if the Taliban are there?
Well, good news is some of the primary students, both girls and boys, are going back to school. But for the secondary older girls, well, for them they're still on hold until further communication, when they will report back to school. But it has already been far too long since they broke off from school.
No, but also, they have said that is happening, that is true, but don't so much rely on it, because the Taliban, they came on board and they say they're going to bring on, it's called the gender segregation. It's the gender segregation in education, where the girl child is not supposed to study with the boy child in the same class. And also, lessons are started, all the classes ongoing are only for children who are beginning from 1 year to 6 years, and those starting from 7 years upwards or 12 years, those ones are put on hold. But don't forget that the boy child or the boys are still going to school. Those are still open. They are not put on hold, but it was only the girl child that was affected by all this. in the past incidences, they were not even allowing the girls to study.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the Taliban, because we're all aware and we're expecting this, when they took over the power, a lot of people started just migrating from that because they know what they're going into after, like when they took over, especially the women. They said, if it happened in the past, how come now it's going to, how will it be now? Though the Taliban themselves, they said, they came and gave a speech and they said, I would say the spokesperson of the Taliban or the government, because they have already formed their government, they believe they took power. He came on board and said that no, it's not that we're going to stop children from going to school, especially the girls. You're not stopping them from going to school, though they are putting a rule of the gender segregation in the education sector, which, and that is like, if you go into the depth of this gender segregation, what it means, it's a must actually. They say that is a gender, it's supposed to be there. If education is supposed to be there, while they are saying that gender segregation, they say a girl is not supposed to be the same class with a boy. And also they're not supposed to be taught by a male teacher. Yeah, so you're not supposed to be taught by a male. And if in case you're taught by a male teacher, there should not be a physical or face-to-face interaction. Maybe you can study on your phone. You can have a teacher like an online classes. If I say, even if you're taught by a male teacher online, it's okay. But as long as you're not physical contact with the male teachers and all that. And also they say that hijabs are a must, like you're supposed to put on all the hijabs.
Well, it's a Muslim state, so yes, most definitely. That one is kind of understandable.
Yeah, but it's okay, it is. But what is not so certain when they asked him, he said he didn't talk about it like the girls covering themselves, because their main fear is that if they go into contact with a boy child, or in case they are studying, there is that distraction. They say the girl child is just attempt, or how do they even term it? They say she's just attempt to create scene, which I believe it's not right. It's not right.
Well, these are all beliefs. We all have our own beliefs, and that's what they believe.
That is what they believe, but it's not right.
It's not
because
right. Because
if I read you the details, if I will tell you in the past, before they took over power, or like when they took over power in the past, in the past 20 years, the impact or the negative impact that was there when they took over power was huge.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when I look here, they said before in 2003. There was an increase of the girl child, or increase of children going to school by 40%. That is the number of students enrolled in 2020,
which is a very high percentage.
To 2021. No, compared to 2003, it increased by 40%. In 2003, it was only 6%, which is a difference. So we believe there was a change when they left, when they paved that. The time from when they were not around, there was at least change. There are more children, ongoing children,
especially girls.
Yeah, especially girls
going to school.
That was a great impact and change. Now the fears are, if they come on board, the numbers are going to decrease, because during that time when they left, at least they had room of, they had chance, they are given chance to go to class, and they are not segregated like the gender as they are bringing it back. Though they say this is not just to bring out the girl child out of it. But now when we look at it, it shows that they're not so much related on what they say actually. When you look at what people are saying, that you find you're saying that you're not segregating children out of the class, but if you're saying there is gender segregation, if you're limiting a contact of female teachers and male teachers
and the female students,
what will happen?
Well,
anyway, what is even happening already? People moved out of the area.
Very many.
They're moving. They're shifting. Because if they're moving, you'll find that in a class or in a university where you find maybe 40. I read a story of a university student who said, for us at our university we only have 3 ladies. Only 3 ladies out of the most like maybe 100 teachers and all that. Now if the Taliban took over, they have that fear, they will also move out of that region. Even the few female teachers who are there, because if you're emphasizing female teacher to a female student, it's not right.
Yeah, especially on the upgrowing generation. We kind of both need the two figures in our lives. Yeah, there's a different there's different influence from the two genders, and there's a thing that we can all learn from one of the others, not just basing on one and be like, okay, this one is right and the other one is wrong.
Well, I believe we all have to work, because we have long ago. Those used to be long ago. Even if when you go down here on the African continent, we have seen such beliefs elapsing. They have gone off. We have finished. It's past that, where you find a class where there are boys. Actually, there are more girls going to class than boys. You would notice that.
That is true.
In our study or our education system, yeah, there are more girls. That is because our governments have emphasized the girl-child education. So those are just past beliefs that these people should allow out of their mind. However much they have gone into power, they should at least, so that bet that is going on, what is the fate of the girl-child education?
That is true. Indeed, what's the fate? Because here the percentages say it is only 37% for girls and about 66% for the boy education, which is a very big margin. Funny thing is, like, for example, if I take statistics from here in Uganda, the girls do perform better than boys in most instances. These are for like examinations, final examinations. Here in Uganda we have PLE, the O-level exams and the A-level exams. In most instances, the girls who take on the subjects that they take on in that very institution, in that very examination, they tend to always outsmart the boys. So is it a good idea for the girl child to sit at home while the boy child goes to school?
Well, we leave it up to you for us to share your views. But when you read a statement from the UN, the humanitarian, they said the only way they will support their government, if they want to be at all to be supported or to believe that they're already there as a government, they should ensure also the girl right, like they should ensure the rights of the girl child, and also to consider the human rights of all, not only segregating one. So
because at some point this kind of reminds me of the old way of living here in Africa, of the girl child belongs in the kitchen, and the boy child belongs to school, and since he's like the head of everything, he's the one who's supposed to get educated, he's not supposed to see the world, but the girl child stays at home and is there to cook. And
we leave it at that. Let us wait and see. As they say, they are not there to remove the girl child education, but let the time will tell.
True, time will tell. How long it will take is the question.
Well, it has been a long time with you guys. Thank you for watching. Those who are still on, it also marks the end of this session, but always we close this section with an African proverb that at least you pick a leaf or something to learn out of it. So always this session is also brought us by B. It's always on Behold Africa, Youth Media, and today's African proverb. Do you have an African proverb that you always have to share? Please do.
Most definitely. Thank you for keeping with us, and at this very moment I give you our daily African proverb. And today's proverb says, a man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness. And what does this mean? So I always give you the African proverb and give you the translation of what it means. What does this mean? It means what goes around comes around. So whenever you sow, you shall reap. So for those of us who do not sow in our dreams, for those of us who do not sow in our actions, you shall not reap.
You reap what you sow.
You reap
even
what
the
you
Bible
sow.
Says
exactly.
So. You don't expect not to maybe you don't. I would say this, for example, when you used to be in our classes, long time ago when we used to be in the primary or the level, the studying curriculum and all that, they used to tell us, if you don't revise your books, don't expect a miracle.
To pass exams.
You don't read, you don't revise your books, you don't do anything, any effort to research or anything, and you expect a 90 or an 80 out of the result, which is
so this is in relation to what the current affairs that are happening here in Africa and all over the world. We reap what we sow. But that has been Behold Africa, brought to you here live at Youth Media with your host Jude Klein and my co-host Brenda. Stay tuned for more shows to come and see you around tomorrow morning.
Midi saberu metap midiri misimudu mi smartphone de andreti wewe de remi werina midi yo Youth Media lisu e ka yusubo erdi midiri yo okokota midizaba stress tamini su jambwa stress minsu azitie stress minsu ngwangwa de irati worosa dilie so monza pebe dori maru atikuto mutamalu mimbe borle Youth Media za sars medri TV de Rizu TV de comenes mombeno roro mangazie yoki waro so madiru mala kitanda dire yere mapilo bomombia malo di Youth Media be dire da maza dinisa okuma dizazuku okukale ma Nigeria movie na erine mayoti inlere yo madiru ma Youth Media be da kitanda dire da pilo dire mama vale yeresi our form ru ko tizi midori mandrai ko siyenzo zumbe Youth Media ngazo arue maracha arue park adinia our form mirangiri $100 madiru mambupi matapi woro on the phone.
Youth Media, the new era.
Youth Media, the new era.
Youth Media, the new era.
Youth Media, the new era. My name is Bukenya Roke, and my dream is to become a physical engineer. So I follow Youth Media in order to pursue my dream. And I would encourage you to follow Youth Media on Facebook, Google, Twitter, in order to pursue also your dreams.
I'm Sesanga Hilary. You can call me Hilary Panda. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a vocalist of Form 4, going to A level. I study from Kati Secondary School. I follow up Youth Media to fulfill my dream, because Youth Media has done more than harm, which is helping more people, as in giving them confidence about what they are supposed to be in future, giving them morale, giving them everything. So I thank Youth Media